Still watching the Q Breakfast Show. Now, moving on, we are going to be talking about a Zambian encyclopedia, which is profiling people who are living today and those that did live in the past. It's called Chalo Chatu. Well, Jason is joining me in the studios this morning, and he'll be telling us more about what this initiative is all about and how they intend on sustaining it. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming through.
Right, thanks for having me.
Chalo Chatu. We're interested in knowing all that Chalo Chatu is doing currently. Why did you come up with this initiative starting with?
All right, it's very simple. It all started as a personal project, something that I had to do for the family. Some time back, we unfortunately lost an aunt. So as we sat at the funeral house, I had one of my uncles. You know, this man apparently knows a lot about my father's side, and at that point I didn't have so much information about my dad's relatives. I knew them by names, but he knew all the connections and things like that. So I had to ask him so many questions as we were there, and as we were asking those questions, we had to sort of do a lot of write-ups to really find out who was this in the family and that. So from the papers that I wrote out of me interviewing him, I had to build up a family portal where all my family members could just log in and go and read about who was who in the family.
Oh, okay.
So it all started from there. So after that was implemented, and it was growing, I mean, we would have things like after someone graduates, would go and update their page, say, okay, this person graduated in such a year. If someone dies, would still do that. If someone has got a baby or they get married, would still do that. So 3 years ago, I thought it would be good also to do something like this for the entire country. Because looking at our past, we don't really have so much documented about our history. If you think about Zambian history right now, most of it is centered around independence, because that most definitely was this big event that happened in 1964. So, but if you try and think or ask anyone about life before then, it's almost like there's a blackout. You know, much of Zambian history, from what we have found in the public domain, much of it starts around 1958. But there was life beyond that. You know, there was so many things that were happening. So we thought, let's go as far as we can to get all that information. Apart from just the independence, yes, which was well documented in most cases, but we thought if we can get many other things that were happening around that time, it would be very, very good. It would give us this comprehensive understanding to what Zambia was all about.
Okay,
Sure.
So who is eligible for profiling in there? Celebrities, who?
We have what you call the notability criteria. So we're basically profiling people who society would be interested in knowing about. People who have done something. People who have made the headlines at some point or whatever it is. People who have done extraordinary things, you know. So those are the kind of people we want to profile. So unfortunately, it won't just be about any Zambians, because we can't have everyone there. But we want to talk about people who, at some point, society would want to think, who was this person? I've heard about this person. I'll give you an example. At this point, if I ask you what you knew about Chisandamuti, it's almost like I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
But you see, these are people who did great things for the country. And I mean, if in 1986 he fought with Evander Holyfield, and people don't really know about that. So those are the kind of people we want to bring, and it's basically singing about the unsung heroes. So we want to bring all that information and put it in one place, and people can be able to access it and read about it.
Now, in having said all that, there are those that you might yourselves forget about. So are you only limiting this to you as part of Chalo Chatu profiling these individuals, or it's open to people to contribute on already created articles, or can somebody out there actually create an article about somebody and post it on Chalo Chatu, and then you'll be able to assess it?
Okay, I'm glad you've asked that. Just from the name itself, Chalo Chatu, this is not something that we own. We're just people who are running the project and coordinating it. But this project is for every Zambian. So we on our social media platforms as well as on our website, we've put up invitations to say that if you feel you've got any piece of history that you want to contribute, please feel free to email it to us. And then we as a team will read through that and, verify the information and then put it up on the website. So anyone can be able to just send us an email to contribute@chalochatu.org, and we'll be able to get the information.
So it's not designed in a way that right there on the website you can edit something. For example, today the Chipolo Polo are going to play, for example, they're not going to play, but I'm giving an example. Say today was 2012.
Yeah.
and they play at night, they win the AFCON. And then immediately that happens, somebody is itching to put an update to the Chipolo Polo team on Chalo Chatu. They cannot go there directly and edit that part and say Zambia actually did win the AFCON in 2012.
The website itself has that provision, but unfortunately, we have sort of disabled that because we are trying to sort of educate people on how to use this thing. We've had instances, because I'm sure you know this about Zambians. Once you give them an opportunity to write about something online, others can even vandalize the articles. They can write wrong things. Imagine if you've written about a person or if you've written about the president. You know, if anyone can just go in and edit, they can write wrong things about them. So we decided, let's restrict this to only people we have created accounts for, so that they can be able to have those rights to be able to edit the content. Now, the team itself is growing. We have got 2 people in Solwezi who are taking care of the entire Northwestern province. We've got 5 people on the Copper Belt. Well, of course, they're in Ndola. They're taking care of the entire region of the Copper Belt. We've got 20 people here in Lusaka. We've got 1 person in Kafiwe and the other one in Choma. So our team is growing, and we're still inviting people to come on board, to say from whatever part of the country you are, because this team, there's no limit. We want this team to grow as much as possible. Now, the reason we came up with this team is so that we can know each one of them, so that in case should there be any need to profile someone, maybe say in Choma, we know we have got someone there, we can be able to do it. If we say Zambia has won the AFCON and someone needs to update that, I know within the team someone would think, okay, since that it's a big team, someone can easily go to the website and do that. But of course, if someone else who is not part of the team wants to update that, they can always send it to us. And that email address is accessed by anyone within the team, so they can be able to receive notifications that there's this new information that has come up.
You're not worried that at a certain time you'd be overwhelmed with the number of emails that you'd receive?
We will be, and that's something that we've really thought about. That's why for now we want to start with working with this team. And because this is a new concept to Zambia, as we go on, people will be educated about how to use this thing, and we'll be able to open it up to people who can just, so people can just go create an account, log in, and you'll be able to make those updates. The permissions, the editing permissions are 3 levels. Level 1 is where anyone can just come without even logging in. They can make any changes they want. And then number 2 is where someone will be required to create an email address, a user account, and have their email address verified, and then they can contribute. And then the level 3 is what we have the site on currently, where someone has to request for an account, and then they have to write a bit about themselves. So we have to really know why are they applying to become a contributor. So we'll also do a check on them and just make sure this person can be able to work with the team. So with time, this will change, and we'll be able to open it up a bit more for many people to come on board.
So far, how many people have you profiled? Any notables that we've...
Yeah, there's, first of all, the site itself, and it's not just about people. We are basically writing everything about Zambia.
Okay.
You know, it's an encyclopedia. So we're writing things like you can write about Shima, you can write about trees, you can write about roads, you can write about places, you can write about people, and just whatever other things that society would be interested in knowing about Zambia. So the website currently has about 700 articles.
Okay.
On various topics, and about 200 of those are on people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's about 200 people that we have so far profiled. And the approach we took in profiling is this. If you look at the website, it does not look very different from Wikipedia. That's because Wikipedia runs on a software, which is a free software called MediaWiki. And this is open to everyone. You know, there's thousands of companies, including Mozilla, that are also using that. So we decided to adopt that because if you have to build an encyclopedia, that software proved to be something that would deliver the content in the way that we wanted. So we had to adopt that, and so we set that one up. And to get started, we had to sort of check through what Wikipedia had. So that was the first approach we took. So we took quite some good articles about Zambia, and of course we got some of them and modified them, added more content, and updated them because we've got access to some of those people. I'll give you an example. People like Beeflaw, we got some of his content from Wikipedia, And we put it on the site. He saw that, he was very impressed, and he said, actually, guys, I've got a lot more that we can put there. So we got the information and just put it there. And also, the next approach was to check what's already in the public domain on the internet, what you guys report in the news, what other websites would have written about this particular person or thing. So we started getting that information and compiling it together and putting articles. And just yesterday, interesting enough, we did a piece on the man who translated the Bible from English to Bemba, Reverend Paul Mushindo. Very interesting man. And I'm thinking, these are people that we should have been learning about in school.
Sometimes,
Yeah, so people like him, and also thinking about people like Mr. Mpundu Mutembo, the freedom statue man, the one who broke the chains. Amazing stories about
the actual hero.
The actual, I mean, he's alive. He's still around. He's in Bala. So all those,
that article I did read.
Yes, yes. So all those are things that we never knew about in Zambia, but we thought, let's just put them all here and let society learn about them.
Now, we know that, especially now with the opening of internet, use of ICT in education is very important.
Yes.
And so such an encyclopedia will be open to reference from students in universities and schools. How reliable can how reliable can it be that they can actually use it for reference for assignments?
All right. As it is now, it's so reliable because, like I mentioned earlier, the approach we have taken, every information that comes, we have to verify it. And at every part of every bit of content that we get from whatever source, be it in books, because among the team players we have, some of our team members, some of them actually spend time in the National Archives and in the museums and in all these other places just to get more information about whatever it is that they're researching on. So with the way we have closed it up to only this group of editors, it goes through certain stages of verification. So as it is now, it is 100% safe to use. You can use it for research, and the information that you get there is reliable.
Thank you so much for coming through, Jason.
Thanks.
We look forward to Chalo Chatu.
Thanks.
In the next 5 years, I want to find my article there.
You will. You will, most definitely.
Well, that was Jason telling us about Chalo Chatu. You can get all the information that you want. It's an encyclopedia about Zambia. Anything. I'm waiting to read the article about Nshima, which is our staple foods. We go on a break. We'll be back. You're still watching the Q Breakfast Show. We can get interacting by you sending us that text message. Type in Q, leave a space, and send your message to 4466.